Hey everybody, I'm Chris. Welcome to my channel, DiGiovanna Family Recipes. So my mother, Susan, was an amazing cook. Her maiden name was DiGiovanna, and they named the channel after her, kind of to honor her and just her love of cooking. And she knew how to make everything from chicken parm to baked ziti to chicken cutlets, lasagna, you name it. And my mom knew how to make it, and she really didn't love anything more than cooking and feeding other people. So she kind of passed that down to me. And everyone's always asking me, hey, how'd you make this or how'd you make that? Give me your recipe. So I decided to create this channel, share my recipes with everybody, and show you some of the things that I know how to make. I've been cooking for almost 20 years, and I got some great tips to help you be more efficient in the kitchen and make some great stuff. So today we're going to start out with one of my favorite dishes and one of my family's favorite dishes, and it's the frittata. So here's the ingredients we'll use for today. We have eggs, use between 6 and 8 eggs depending on how much filling you have, grated Parmesan cheese, extra virgin olive oil, bar of provolone cheese, we'll use half of it. I've got some bell peppers, thinly sliced, some red potatoes that I just cooked in the microwave quickly, and some diced up sausage. And just a tip on the sausage and the potatoes, what I do, because I make frittatas quite a lot, is if I have some extra potatoes or if I get a good sale, I'll take them, and instead of throwing them out, I'll boil whatever I don't use out of the bag, dice it up into about 1 inch cube, put about a cup and a half into a Ziploc sandwich size bag. Same thing with the sausage, and put it in the freezer and take it out when I'm ready to make a frittata. So first thing we're going to do is I want to add some green pepper and some onion to this as well. Okay guys, so I'm going to start heating up my pan here. I'll put it on a little less than medium low for now, and just let it start to get hot. So in addition to the peppers I already have cut up, I'm going to add some green pepper, and I'm going to add some onion for this frittata. That's typically what I put. So I just want to show you how I cut my bell peppers here. I'm not going to need this whole one, this is a big one, but I'll just go down the side along the rib there, kind of slice off one side, slice off the other. And that's about all I need. And if you see you get this white rib in here, you kind of want to just cut that out. You don't need that. And then when I buy peppers or any kind of produce from the store, don't throw these bags out. Save them. You can use it as a garbage bag. So I get the white rib out of the other one. And then I just cut it kind of across the grain. It's one. Two. Okay, my pan should be pretty hot right now. I'm going to put some olive oil in there, and I want to get the peppers going first. So that's about a good 2 tablespoons. Be generous with the olive oil. You want to make sure you have enough, and that's really kind of what makes the dish and flavors the eggs. So I'm going to put those in. I'll turn up the heat to medium high. Get in my greens. Okay. And I'm going to add some onion, so kind of a small onion, small to medium. So the way I cut them for my frittatas, and there are many, many ways to cut an onion, but the way I'm cutting it here, I just cut off both ends. And then I cut it in half. I get rid of this. I'll peel the outsides. Okay. You want to really make sure you don't get any of the skins in your frittata, or any dish that you're making for that matter. So make sure you get rid of everything. Okay. So my knife is clean. I've got rid of all the skins, and I'm just going to slice it same way I slice my peppers. These can go right in. Now, pinch of salt, some fresh cracked black pepper. Got my spatula. I'm going to give this a little bit of a stir. Now I'm just going to let this cook down for a few minutes and then get some color on it, and then I'm going to add the potatoes and the sausage, and we'll get the eggs prepped to add to the frittata. Okay guys, so I'm ready to add my potatoes and sausage. Look at the peppers and onions. They're starting to caramelize a little. You see I got some nice color on there going with the sausage. This, by the way, this is my homemade sausage I made with pork shoulder. In with the potatoes. Now those are already cooked, so they don't need to stay in too long. Alright, and now I'm going to keep this plate handy. We're going to use this and do what's called the flip method for my frittata. Most people, at this point, once it's ready to go, would add the eggs and put it in the oven and finish it that way. I do it the way my mother showed me how to do it. I use a plate. I just flip it over. I cook it right on the stove. So I'm going to set this aside. And I want to get my provolone cheese ready. These things are invaluable. You get them on sale, sometimes 3 for $5, and they last forever, 6, 7, 8 months. You cut them up, dice them, you use them in soups, frittatas, toppings, quesadillas. They last forever. You have to have this in your refrigerator. So basically I need half for this frittata, so I'll just cut it right through the plastic. You got to make sure you have a sharp knife. And give it a little cut that way, and you can peel off the wrapper. Set this one aside, and then I want cubes, because I want a nice burst of cheese and when you bite into this frittata. So I kind of just cut it down this way, cut it in half, and give this a little stir. This is looking really good. And this is pretty high heat, and you can see here on the stove, it's almost on high. I want to get nice color on everything. So I'll just cut this into long strips here. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want about a 1/4 inch dice. And then I'm going to cube it up. Okay. In half. 2, 3, 4. Okay. And that's the other half. Always tuck your fingers in when you're working with a sharp knife, by the way. So, okay. So the cheese is ready. I gotta prep my eggs now. Pinch of salt. Some cracked pepper. I like a lot of pepper. And by the way, make sure you wash your hands after you crack your egg. And then a good amount of grated cheese. I'd say minimum 2 tablespoons. Okay, and I'll let these potatoes brown up a little bit more, and we'll be ready to add the eggs. Okay, we're ready to add the eggs. Everything's well browned. Very important that you mix the eggs well. You have to incorporate some air into these eggs. I use a fork. Some people use a whisk. Trust me when I tell you, the eggs don't know what you're using. They don't care. Just mix them up good. Then you take your cheese, put it right in. All right. Here goes the provolone. I like to give this one last stir. Look how nice and brown that is. Okay. Toss the mixture around, and you come right in there. Make sure you don't waste anything. Right into the sink. And now, from the outside in, you start to mix. Let the egg kind of fall into the middle so it starts cooking and starts to set up. Okay. See that how the curds start to form there? Starting to set up. Okay. So then once I'm at that point, I just spread it nice and even. I want to make sure everything's kind of submerged in the eggs. I'll lower that to medium, a little less than medium. And you don't want to put the raw eggs now back on the cutting board. So I'm going to put this on the side of the plate I'm going to use to flip. And we'll let that cook for 2-3 minutes till it starts to get well golden brown on the sides, and then we'll be ready to flip. Okay, so we're about ready to flip this frittata, and you can see as I go around, you need a good spatula like this. You can see the color in there. It's nice golden brown, dark golden brown. I'm gonna set this spatula aside. I don't need it anymore, and get ready to flip. Now, I would start small with the flipping, maybe a smaller pan for your first time, or definitely do it over the sink and just be careful. I've done hundreds of these. I've never lost one yet. So here's the technique. Set it on to the metal. Your plate comes over the top, and you just leave room for it to slide on the end there, and then I come straight over, and you can see perfectly golden brown. I'm going to come back over here. I want to hit this with a little bit of olive oil so we can brown the other side properly. Oh, my son Jack just broke into the kitchen. And here's the technique, folks. This is it. You cannot mess this up, or else forget about it. Throw your frittata in the garbage. Gently back into the pan. Just like that. I'm going to set this back on the stove. I'm going to lower this just a little bit. About medium, a little less than medium. And then let it cook for a few more minutes. And while that happens, I'm going to do these dishes. I'm going to get this cleaned up, and then when we come back, we'll plate it up, and I'll show you how we let it rest, and we'll serve it up. Okay, so our frittata's done cooking. Now we got to get it out, unmold it, basically put it onto the plate. I'm just going to give it a good shake, make sure it's loose, and you can see the color there. Now this isn't burned. This is what you call caramelization. This is perfectly cooked. All right, so I'm going to kind of give it a tap. Tap the edge of the pan. See how it comes out? Be gentle. Done. I'm going to top this with a little grated cheese. I see a lot of people using spoons for the grated cheese. Listen, forget the spoon. You're Italian, you cook with your hands. You put the cheese on there with your hands. There you go. Just top it with a little bit of grated cheese. And then we're going to let this set up for at least 10-15 minutes. And we'll be ready to cut it, and I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so our frittata is set up. I've cut it into fours, and I just wanted to mention the way I can tell it was done when it was in the pan is I kind of felt the top there, and you can feel it's kind of firm to the touch. That's how you know it's finished. If you touch the top and it feels kind of like a waterbed, then you know the egg is still raw and you need to cook it. So here I just cut it into 4 slices. I follow the corners of the plate so I can cut it even. So I'll just take out 1 slice. And you can see how the filling is. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So this is how I would kind of serve it up, just on a plate like that. You could use some toast. You could use, I like plain white bread. And then when you cut into a piece, you see the filling there. That's good. You get the saltiness of the sausage, the burst of the cheese that's in there. The peppers are kind of sweet, and the egg is just set up perfectly, so it couldn't be any better. This is a great recipe. Doesn't need to be refrigerated. You can leave it out all day. You can take it on picnics, take it to the park. It'll stay in the refrigerator for 7 days and be just as good. You can eat it cold. Just don't freeze it. So I hope you make it. Once you do, you'll want to keep making it. Your friends and family will be begging you for it. Try my frittata, and thanks for checking out my video. I'll see you next time.